Hello and welcome back to Our Life Beginnings and Always, or some such. Man, summer has just flown by, hasn't it? No, just kidding. Also, happy Pride if you're out there celebrating and taking care of your friends and family and doing all the things that are important to you. This is, an important game to play for Pride because it's very LGBTQ, obviously. We have multiple moms. You can have a gay relationship with Cove. There's other characters and themes in this that are also LGBTQ. But of course I will be playing this beyond Pride because it's going to take me longer than June to finish this. But it's going to be a long day today, I think, because it has been a long day. This is very appropriate to my current day. Man, it's crazy to think we did all these already. It was another scorching summer day, the kind where no sooner had you finished one cup of water, you were already filling it up again. Almost all of these start out with, "It was a hot summer day and you didn't know what to do." Everyone else had something on, so that afternoon was just you and Shiloh. This didn't happen much, especially since Cove had arrived. Without Lizzie around, Shiloh looked to you for all the answers. It made you feel pleased. Frustrated? Nothing, really. Pleased. We like Shiloh. Shiloh's a good kid. Shiloh is our friend as well. We want to be reliable for him. You might not be in double digits like your sister, but he was only 7. Being the oldest and getting to be the leader was a nice change of pace. Yeah, he's only 7 or 8. You drained yet another drink and frowned at the empty vessel. Your thirst was gone, but you still craved something icy cold and refreshing, something sweet, something like popsicle, an ice cream cone, an ice cream sandwich. Ooh. She seems like a popsicle kind of girl, don't you think? That's what I think about Marina Foster. You wanted something fruity and brightly colored. There was nothing like that to be found at home. You knew that without needing to look. Your moms didn't keep sweets in the house. Outside, there were plenty of places where such goodies could be obtained, but they were shops and demanded payment in exchange for their products. You sighed. You voiced your predicament aloud. You asked Shiloh for help. You voiced your predicament aloud. I want a popsicle. Shiloh, who'd been draped over the sofa, perked up.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I forgot this was the quintessential Shiloh moment. We don't have anything like that in the house, and I don't have any money.
Oh, let me check if I have any.
Shiloh rummaged in his backpack and probably produced an assortment of coins plus one stray button. I love he's 7. He's just a little boy. You set the button aside and counted the coins in neat piles. Just over $1. You announced this to Shiloh. He had almost certainly come to the same conclusion, but he'd been watching you expectantly. He's actually pretty smart. It's a start. We're positive. Shiloh beamed at you. We'll need to find some more.
Okay.
The two of you lifted couch cushions, stuck tiny hands down deep crevices. I wanted to say crevasses, but it's crevices. In the sofa and under furniture and scoured the back of drawers. Most of what you found was useless or gross, bent paper clips, fluffy wisps of dust, or sandy crumbs, but every so often one of you would strike silver or bronze and add it to the growing pile of coins. Coins aren't made out of bronze, friend. Some silver, but not much. Oh, man. Dusty and disheveled from checking every room and squinting into every tiny nook, the two of you finished pooling your funds. Shiloh held his breath as you counted the coins once again.
$2.53 and 2 buttons.
You didn't know when the second button had decided to join the party, but you were too pleased with your successful haul to throw it out. The button's an important part of this now. Now we each have a button.
Is that enough?
You figured he knew the answer, but you appreciated him recognizing your authority on financial and ice cream matters. You straightened up before making your pronouncement.
Yeah, we got enough.
You could now afford something at the shops, just one thing, and that was infinitely better than none. Shiloh clapped his hands.
Yay.
So we're going shopping with Shiloh in this one. It would seem. Man, is this too close? Is it me or is this too close? Stare into his cold, gray eyes. Okay, enough of that. The two of you dashed outside. The promise of sugar buoyed you onto your destination where, breathless but happy, you stare at an overwhelming number of options. So this is very likely the last time we'll see this lad, except I think he might show up in the prologue. He probably does show up in the prologue, because I think everybody has to show up in the prologue. But we're running out of opportunities to hang out with with this young lad, who has kind of grown on me over time. I still don't like him that much. You know what you wanted, but it wasn't just the two of you. It wasn't just you who had contributed the funds to get the treat. He seemed to notice your pause.
Aren't you getting a popsicle?
Shiloh asked, as though he was entirely separate from the decision rather than someone with a stake in the outcome.
Do you mind?
Shiloh cocked his head to the side.
It was your idea. You should choose.
You went ahead and got what you wanted anyway, originally? You really sure it's okay? Try to get something you both wanted anyway. I mean, this is our friend, damn it. This is our friend. We care about this little bean just as much as we care about Cove and our big sister, well, and other people who are really cool in our lives. It wasn't fair to you to be the only one to decide when he'd be a main factor in making this happen. Some of the money came directly from his backpack. What do you like?
All of them. They're so good.
He pressed further. But what do you really like?
Popsicles or ice creams? Which is your favorite? It's so hard to pick. I don't know.
Frustrated, you cut to the heart of the matter. He's a people pleaser too. You want me to choose?
Yeah.
He also can't make up decisions, I think. And that was that. And that was that. You got the dessert you wanted originally and hoped Shiloh would actually like it too. Finally, the reward for all your hard work was in your hands. You sucked on the fruity popsicle you'd bought. The icy treat cooled you down perfectly and the zesty flavor was refreshing. He held it out to Shiloh so he could take a turn. He shook his head.
You can finish it.
Why does that fully voiced? He didn't want any? After everything he did to help get it? That was weird. But you accepted the offer. You tried to include Shiloh. You hesitated. No. No. He's our friend. Damn it. We're gonna include him. Even if Shiloh said it was okay, every story you'd seen on TV or read in a book said that sharing was caring. You stood your ground, even as the treat started to trickle dangerously down towards your fingers. It's only fair that you have some. We both bought it.
But you want it more than I do. Getting to play was a lot of fun already, so you can have it. That's more fair.
That's more fair, right. You held it out to him. I want you to have some even more than I want to finish it, so eat your part. Relenting, Shiloh took the treat and gave it a taste. His eyes lit up.
Thank you.
It's really good.
You smiled, pleased with your good deed.
You picked the best one.
Did he mean that? Shiloh was always nice no matter what happened. Even if he hated it, he knew he wouldn't say so. Maybe he thought it was gross and that this real reason why he didn't want you to take some. Why he didn't want to take some. You had no idea. You studied him as he ate a little more. He had every appearance of enjoying himself. Still weird. The two of you began to head back home as he ate. You walked side by side on the shore in silence, but your thoughts kept drifting to the boy beside you. Why didn't he speak up for himself? It was almost as if Shiloh didn't know how to say what he felt or was too afraid to. Maybe this is the one where I don't like him very much. Where we have weird issues with Shiloh and things get weird. Yeah, this might be the one I was thinking of, not Sandcastle. You figured that was his problem and he didn't care? Are you scared of me? You thought it was kind of sad? Are we friends? No, we're gonna straight up ask this question because she would want to know. This is important business to Marina Foster. Everybody is her friend. Everybody is her friend. Shiloh opened his eyes wide, seemingly caught off guard by the blunt question.
Yeah, I think so.
He says that, but friends should be able to talk to each other without being scared. If Shiloh wanted to do that, were you really friends at all? Were you even really friends at all? You rubbed his hand cigar nervously over your non-reaction.
I'm sorry.
Oh no. You weren't sure how sorry he could be without knowing what he's even apologizing for, but you shook your head. He didn't do anything. It was true, Shiloh hadn't done something mean. He'd gone out of his way to make you happy. That didn't seem like it should be a bad thing, yet it bothered you. I just don't know if you like me. It's like it doesn't matter what I do, you're gonna act the same. I could be anybody and you wouldn't care.
No, I really like you. I really like you, Marina. I want to be friends.
Look at this, look. Oh my god, look at this little bean. He's so serious. He's so... Just straight up, like, serious face here. Serious times with Shiloh. Okay. He smiled hesitantly at until his fidgeting ceased. Even though you weren't sure if you believed him, it was only making things worse. He's just like this. He has to be friends with everybody, regardless of... He's a people pleaser. He decided that maybe there were all types of friends. If Shiloh wasn't able to do things differently, this would have to be alright. Shiloh made you unsure about setting a label on the experience, and spending the afternoon with just him. There had been good times and there had been confusing ones. You were positive of one thing at least. The treat was delicious, and that was nice. The sun was low on the horizon as you returned to your neighborhood. There you spotted two very familiar figures up ahead, Lizzie and Cove. You opened your mouth to make your presence known to them just as you saw the tears in Cove's face. Uh-oh. We having more Lizzie and Cove drama in this one too? Oh boy. This seems to be a thing. You walked straight over, Shiloh at your heels. Once there, you defended Cove, took a moment to make a joke, accused Lizzie of causing trouble, no, carefully asked about what happened. We're not gonna immediately jump all over our sister. No. We love our big sister. This is not, like, no, we're gonna carefully ask about what happened. Without a time machine, the only way you were going to find out was by asking the witnesses. Lizzie might have done something, but she could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, or even come to Cove's aid. You wanted to hear the story. Exactly. We do not judge our sister. Also, did I mention? I think I did. This is, yeah, the front of the house. I think I talked about that. I figured it out. Cove, what happened? Marina, I got yelled at. He took a deep, steadying breath. Some grandparents got mad at me. Sorry. Lizzie jerked her head in the direction of a nearby house. Your heart sunk. You know exactly what had happened. Every year, the same mean old couple rented out that condo for the summer. You, Lizzie, and Shiloh knew to stay away from them, but Cove couldn't have. They're like that with everyone. Even your mom struggled to find anything nice to say about them, but the elderly pair particularly took offense to kids. It didn't matter if they were really nice like Cove. Yeah, Lizzie said... Lizzie drew herself up after that. She looked pointedly in your direction. I was helping. Yeah. That's cool. Is there anything I can do? See, I knew Lizzie was helping the whole time, because she's our cool big sister, and she would help people, even if she doesn't like them very much, like Cove.
No.
Just gonna stay away. Or you could teach them a lesson. Yup. There was a devilish glint in her eyes. What? You should ding-dong ditch them. Go ding your doorbell and run. It'll be great because they're so slow. They'll never catch you. That's dumb. I don't want to go near them ever again.
You're just saying that because you're a chicken.
Wait, that... They fully voiced that. Of all the things to fully voice Lizzie. Mad. So mad! Cove glared but didn't take the bait. Lizzie turned to you. You're not a chicken, are you? Yeah, cluck cluck. I'd rather you just avoid them. You thought they deserved worse? I'll do it. Ooh. No, I'll do it. Marina Foster is not a chicken. Nobody calls me Chicken Biff. Really? You took a deep breath and nodded. Lizzie squealed with delight. We'll go hide. Run as soon as you hit the bell. Good luck. Lizzie and Shiloh ran across the road to take shelter in the bushes. Even once they settled down, you could make out two child-sized shapes staring between the leaves. You know where to look for them, though, so you could told yourself that the grouchy old people wouldn't spot it. Cove sighed, his gaze flicking in the house and then back to you. Be careful. As if they could keep up. He gave the door and you one last look before joining Lizzie and Shiloh in their hideaway. The weight of 3 pairs of eyes in your back was heavier than anything you'd carried before as you approached the door. Or is this implying that this is the old people's condo? You hesitated as you reached for the doorbell, then you rung it. You slapped the buzzer and ran. Blood thumped against your eardrums with every step. Would you make it in time? Yeah, F the man, right? This is the kind of stuff that Marina Foster lives for, man. Full goblin energy. Approaching the hiding spot, you knew that there wasn't time to go around the bushes as the others had done. You took a shortcut, leaping over them. or to be more accurate, crashing into the tops of the bushes and then falling over to the other side. Cove quietly hissed as you unwittingly collided into him, but by the way his arms were out, it seemed he had intentionally tried to cushion your landing. Shh! Lizzie put a finger to her lips and nodded at the house. You disentangled your lips from Cove's and spun around to see the old man framed in the doorway, peering back and forth suspiciously. You covered your mouth with your hands, but it wasn't enough to stifle your giggles. Maybe he spotted one of you, maybe it was the leaves that displaced. While jumping, he locked eyes with the bush and stormed over in your direction. Shiloh gasped and looked to Lizzie.
Run!
Your sister did not hesitate to take her own advice, neither did Shiloh. You got up, but seeing Cove struggle to extract himself and stand up with just the one fully functional arm, you gave him a hand up before taking off after the others. The old man's hollers propelled all of you from the street to the sanctity of the hill. You darn kids, get off of my property! What are you doing there? I'll tell you. Okay, the old man's hollers propelled you all from the street to the sanctity of the hill. Only once you were safe did you notice the stitch in your chest and the ache of your legs. You flopped down why do they have to change the background? You flopped down, the blades of grass tickling your face. Lizzie, who had taken the lead in the end, was already lazing on the ground. The four of you took a moment to catch your breath and enjoy the feeling of cool grass against your skin.
Cove.
Hey, Cove. Cove lifted his head. I told you there were mean grandparents around here. Cove rolled his eyes and decided this wasn't dismissive enough and rolled his whole body away from your sister. Lizzie chose to ignore his response and started chatting with Shiloh, who eagerly joined in the conversation. In the back of your mind, you knew you'd always be second fiddle again. You'd be second fiddle again to Shiloh once Lizzie came around. It always went like that. And it was fine, you thought. You still felt a little sad after how much time you spent together today. And it was always annoying. No, it's like, I don't know, does she really care? I mean, no, Lizzie's cool. I think it's cool that, yeah, it makes sense that he would look up to your sister just like you do. Shiloh could prefer Lizzie as much as he wanted to. There were other things to attend to anyway. You would go closer to Cove. He had calmed down. For the most part, I was inspecting a flower. His fingers pinched the stem and tilted the white petals toward him.
That's a poppy.
Cove glanced at you in acknowledgement, then back to the flower.
And the type of poppies in this hill have the name white linen poppy. Mom told me.
Oh my god, I forgot this was from Up on Poppy Hill. You ever seen that movie? That was a good film. A good Ghibli film that a lot of people probably haven't seen, but it's very mundane. It's more I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to rewatch it. But from Up on Poppy Hill. That's what this whole game is. He quirked a smile.
That's funny.
He ran a finger around the edge of the petals.
It doesn't feel like cloth. You need a lot of them to make anything.
He nodded and released the delicate plant. Evaluation complete.
This is my favorite kind of flower, but I didn't know what it was called. Thanks.
Holy crap, we can pick our own flower. It's mine too. I like roses. Buttercups are really great. My favorite is snapdragons. Hibiscuses are the best. Peonies are pretty. I love sunflowers. I'd pick tulips. Orchids are the most special. Type your own answer. I like all flowers. I don't care about flowers. I only do what my mom tells me. I'm very tempted to pick that. But I'll tell you what both me and Marina Foster have in common. I'm eating a milkshake, sorry. I'm very distracted. You know what both me and Marina Foster have in common? My favorite is snapdragons.
That's a cool name. I hadn't heard it before. Yeah, they are cool. They look like roaring dragon faces, like this.
You opened your jaw wide and roared, demonstrating the flower's unique appearance.
Wow, you know everything. Not everything, but thanks.
Whoa, this is a cool cutout. Cut in. You moved onto your back with a small smile and looked at the darkening sky. We might have to use that, even though it's not that... I don't know. I didn't realize we had a thing. The blanket of clouds reminded you of a thick throw you curled on cold rainy days. You wondered if the clouds would be as soft. They lazily floated on by, splitting from each other, merging and morphing into new shapes. You saw a dolphin, you saw a car, you saw an alpaca, you saw a smiley face, you saw cloud shapes. Now, we know for a fact that Marina Foster is quite imaginative and, yeah, likes the ocean. You saw a dolphin leaping through the sky. You nudged Cove and pointed to it.
Look, a dolphin.
Cove joined you in gazing skywards.
Yeah, I see it. Really? No, but I like dolphins. Hey.
He chuckled at your reaction. All the sun's light faded from the sky and the moon rose higher. Lizzie got to her feet, dusting strands of grass from her bare legs, and surveyed her surroundings. So this is just a nice moment about hanging out with your childhood friends, which is what a lot of this is, but this one specifically, there's nothing really special you do. You get ice cream with Shiloh, but the rest of it's just... There's no real, I don't think, any serious stuff. You just hang out with your friends. The ocean, visible from the crest of the hill, beckoned with every sweep of the tide.
Let's go to the beach.
There was no argument from the other two. Shiloh was still Shiloh, and Cove would never say no to going to the shore. He was a child of the sea. You wanted to go there too. You were too tired to argue. You were happy to do what the others wanted to object. No, you wanted to go there too. You eagerly joined the others in descending the hill down to the water. She loves the beach, man. Marina Foster loves the beach. Hey, look, that sandcastle's still there. You stepped onto the sand for the second time that day, but it felt different at night. The beach was nearly quiet at this hour. Abandoned sandcastles and footsteps in the sand, too big to belong to any of you, were the only indication of how busy it had been only hours earlier. The four of you kicked shoes off and removed socks and walked along the water's edge. The waves tickled your feet. We're all so happy here.
I wonder what would happen if you tried to take a bath in the ocean with shampoo and everything. That would be bad for the fish.
Jeez.
I didn't say anyone would do it. Jeez, you don't have to be serious about everything.
I love him. He's just like that.
You're the one who asked what would happen. That is what would happen. It'd hurt the fishies.
He's just very, like, yeah, he's the way he is. I love Cove. I'm a Miss Child Cove. I will say this right now. I've seen all the different versions of Cove. Well, I haven't seen all the different versions of Cove, but I've seen different stages of Cove, and I like Child Cove the most. He's just such an awkward little autism bean, and I love him so much.
You like bubble baths at home? They're a lot of fun. Me too. Bubble baths are luxurious.
You'd never heard Lizzie use that word before.
Mommy loves to have bubbles in her bath. She'll turn the lights off and have candles. I'm gonna do that next time.
You know what? I've done that before. It's nice. I like to have bubble baths too. It's a big thing. It's oh man, it's a nice thing to do that for yourself. Especially if you can just afford the time to sit around and relax and enjoy it and not have to worry about like other stuff going on.
Hey, when's your mom coming to pick you up anyway? Not for a while. She's busy. What about your dad? How come you never talk about him? Nobody does. Don't you know you're not supposed to ask something like that? Why would somebody want to talk about something they never talked about?
You kept your eyes on the ground, watching your toes get swallowed up by waves. Even if Shiloh never seemed upset when the topic came up, it made you feel awkward for having both of your moms. Yeah, Shiloh's a child of divorce, I'm pretty sure.
It's okay. I'm like Lizzie and Marina. I don't have a dad. But I don't have two moms. I just have one. She's really great.
He just has a single mom. There's all kinds of families. Is she a little bit vexed right now?
Oh, sorry. I only have one now, too. My mom isn't there. She's back home. It's just my dad with me.
Sorry.
I never had a dad or anything, so I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. It's just really sad that your mom is gone.
So actually, I guess his dad probably walked out before he was born. Cove nodded. You joked about Shiloh's mom getting together with Cove's dad. Oh jeez. Even if they're all different, our parents are good in their own ways. You didn't say anything. No, this one. God, this is really insensitive. You know, I make these jokes about 100% goblin energy, but she's not, like, mean. Okay? She doesn't say mean things to her friends.
Yeah.
Cove couldn't muster a response. You don't think he truly disagreed, though. The silence broke with a splash as Lizzie kicked in your direction. Cold water and sodden splines spattered against your legs. Lizzie giggled, foot still outstretched from the kick. Cove joined in, striking the incoming waves that made a splash of his own. Shiloh scurried out of Cove's spray zone with a grin. You retaliated. You used your foot to smack the water pooling around you, sending an arc of sea foam flying back onto your sister. You laughed as she spluttered out some salty water, and having landed in her mouth, she spat it out. Yuck! Lizzie chased you, intent on revenge. Yeah, now she really a little bit vexed. This a die vibe though. You dash up and down the coast, taking it in turns to be the predator and the prey, as well as joining forces to take down Shiloh or Cove. Alliances were silently forged and wordlessly broken. Yeah, we would join forces with our sister. That's absolutely what we would do. Everything was fair game in war. Shiloh's brief exclamation was drowned out by the biggest splash yet, caused by him falling face first onto the ground. That would probably have been bad enough without the wave that followed, cascading over his prone body. So I'm gonna be late for VC. I'm doing the classic late for VC thing. Shiloh sat up, shaking his head like a dog coming in from the rain. As you all hurried over to check on him, his hair was plastered to his head and his soaked clothes clung. If there was any part of him that was still dry, you couldn't see it.
Huh, that was crazy. Are you okay? Yeah, my foot got stuck and I fell over.
You Dumbo.
Way to go, Shiloh. You Dumbo.
He offered him some help up. He offered him some help up. Shiloh didn't take your outstretched hand. After a moment, you dropped it. Lizzie was too busy snickering to notice and held her hand out to Shiloh, too. He reached over and took it. Slowly, he started to pull himself up from the ground. Then he slipped on the slick sand, dragging him and Lizzie down in just time for another wave to hit. The water rolled over.
Sorry.
What were the odds of that happening twice in a row? You thought they must be low, but there was no way Shiloh would do something like that on purpose and then pretend it was an accident, especially not to Lizzie. Even if your relationship with Shiloh felt unclear, he did at least like her a lot. Lizzie was his favorite, right? Smiling boldly, Lizzie extracted herself from the ground and wiped a streak of sand from her cheek. She didn't intend to let this embarrass her. Shiloh got up again as well, this time without incident. He still looked like a drowned puppy, but that didn't stop Cove laughing at the two of them. With that, it was time to call it a day. The four of you made the journey back home, leaving a trail of wet footsteps and sand in your wake. Damp clothes may have weighed you down some of the group, but your spirits were high. Your arms swung side to side as the cool breeze flowed past. Your moms were outside chatting to Cove's dad.
We're back.
Your mom's faces fell as they took in the state you were all in, ranging from messy to soaked.
No.
Elizabeth, is that all you have to say for yourself? You brought half the beach back with you. They certainly did. What's Marigold going to do when she comes to get Shiloh? Is that how you wanted to be for her long drive home? Wanted to be for the long drive home, cold and filthy? Marigold is such a cool name. It's his mom's name. Lizzie's expression turned sulky over the scolding. Being the oldest could be fun, but it also meant she was the first to get in trouble when something went wrong. Mr. Holden, on the other hand, chuckled as he ruffled Cole's matted hair. You've been out making memories, bucko. I'm glad you had a good time with your friends. Cove used his slightly moist cast iron to push his dad off. Mr. Holden's eyes widened as he noticed that even that had gotten wet. Now he was worried too. Yeah, Cove's dad is the coolest, right? He doesn't get in trouble for anything. I want to be like Cove's dad. I think they could have found a less risky way to spend time and just had just as much fun. We also pestered the old people. You didn't know about that. That might be right, kids. Kids, what can you do? Come on, let's go get you cleaned up and dried off. We wouldn't want that cast to be reset. Cove winced at the thought.
Okay.
Attaboy. Mr. Holden casually bent down and plucked Cove off the ground, ultimately holding Cove against his chest. Sand was already transferring from Cove onto him, but that didn't seem to bother Mr. Holden. Cove protested being carried, but only got a reassuring pat in the back for his trouble.
Take care.
Good night, Cove. Thank you for the talk, Cliff.
Night, Foster family, and Shiloh too. Resigned to his fate, Cove twisted his body in his dad's arms in order to turn around and wave goodbye. He beamed as you reached up and waved your hand in the air. Good night.
Fine.
Well, we better do what we can do to fix you guys up too. Come on, everybody inside. I want you to march straight to the downstairs bathroom. Oh, they do have 2 bathrooms. That's a nice way of knowing. Something kind of a nice world building piece right there. I had two. Yes, Mom. I had 2 bathrooms going up. Okay, Lizzie's mom. Don't worry too much about stopping to wipe your feet in the mat this time. That won't do much good tonight. So yeah, I had 2 bathrooms in our house as well. I'm gonna be as late as I want to be. I don't care. Yeah, we didn't really have like a separate bathroom you had to go to when you were dirty or whatever. But the downstairs bathroom definitely was easier to access. Sitting on an old beach towel your mommy had found, you waited in the hall until you were less sandy. You weren't allowed to go to your room and walk around the house. But you did get to eat a sandwich for dinner there. It felt like an indoor picnic. It had been decided that Shiloh would wash first and borrow some of your clothes. He was already finished and packed away in his mom's car. Mrs. Fields had come to collect him a little while ago. Marigold Fields. That's like a My Little Pony name. Literally. Marigold Fields. Thank you, GB Patch Lady. And the creative people over at this... Oh, man. I'm calling her that because that's what Sarah always calls her. It was a bit funny of an experience seeing him without that hat for once. I wish we had art of that. I wish we had a drawing of Shiloh without the hat on. They do like wet versions of a lot of the other characters later in the game, because there's a lot of times where you get damp doing stuff. You do stuff, and you go to the ocean a lot, obviously, as you might notice, because we live by the beach. So it's just like, what do you call it? Like, it's weird not having that for Shiloh, and especially not in this situation. It'd be interesting to see. Lizzie, being much more soaked than you, got to go in the tub next. It wasn't a bubble bath like she'd hoped. This was a no fun allowed cleanup session. At least that's what she claimed. Not much longer and it would be your turn. When the bath was done, you'd have to go right to bed. After a day like this, though, you were glad there weren't going to be any further events. Yeah, me too, because I'm late for VC. Officially. Drifting off to sleep sounded like a great idea. And we only have sleepover left. No further events. Yeah, that was a long day, actually. Man, we did a lot. I forgot. That's just kind of the hangout with. So to recap, this is hanging out with Cove in the shopping district. This is Cove and Lizzie get into a fight. This is hanging out with your friends a lot. This is building sandcastles and having awkward conversations. This is just charming and rolling down the hill. This is doing the quiz in the library or hanging out with Cove. This is hunting for ghosts with Cove all night and getting in trouble. This is going to that barbecue and seeing the fireworks, the phantom fireworks. And this is running away from home, helping stop finding Cove who ran away from home and getting in trouble. Next time, we're going to have our first sleepover ever. So get excited. We'll see you then.